Have you ever felt that really heavy blanket of inertia, or maybe that endless loop of procrastination where you feel like you're just stuck maybe watching life pass by from the comfort of your couch?
Yeah, I think we all know that feeling. It's pretty universal.
It really is, isn't it? Well, today we're actually doing a deep dive into exactly that challenge.
Right. This one's all about uncovering some powerful methods, practical but also deeply spiritual ways to overcome that very feeling.
So how to break free from that stagnation and maybe ignite some inner zeal.
Exactly. Getting unstuck and getting moving.
And our insights for this deep dive, they come straight from the wisdom shared by Sheikh Nurjan Miramati.
That's right. His teachings offer a really unique spiritual perspective on breaking free and igniting that inner fire he talks about.
So think of this as maybe a shortcut, a way to understand some actionable steps from his perspective, all designed to help you unlock your own energy and find that purpose.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Sheikh Nurjan Miramati makes this really striking point, like right away. He says that without a certain kind of spiritual support, we'd all just be, well, his words, potatoes glued to a couch.
Oh, yeah. It's memorable, isn't it?
It really is. Well, what exactly does he mean by that? It sounds pretty stark, but also incredibly relatable.
It absolutely does. He really emphasizes that on our own, we can do nothing to overcome this spiritual inertia. It's not just about willpower.
Okay.
So his teaching introduces this concept of receiving madad. He describes it as spiritual support or maybe connection.
Madad. Okay.
And it's not something we just, generate ourselves. It's vital energy that you receive. And he says it's absolutely crucial.
How does it work?
Well, he explains that this spiritual connection, specifically with the love, with the salawats, which are praises upon Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, this brings an energy that really starts to lift us. It gets us out of that stagnant state.
So it's about actively receiving something, an energy, a support, not just trying to conjure it up all by yourself.
Exactly. That's a really crucial distinction he makes. It's about opening up to receive.
And what happens then? When people either, embrace this idea of spiritual connection or maybe dismiss it, does he see a difference?
Oh, a huge difference. He observes this really stark contrast, and it's quite compelling.
Like what?
He says, those who actively seek and connect to this spiritual support, this madad, he sees them flooding the earth with actions.
Wow.
They're engaged, they're constantly moving, achieving things. But then on the other hand, those who dismiss its importance, well, he says they effectively grow potatoes.
Grow potatoes?
Yeah, they become sedentary, sometimes literally glued to their couches. He even mentions sometimes engaging in negativity, like making critical comments online. It's just this powerful image of stagnation versus, dynamic action.
That really brings it home, doesn't it? The difference between just thinking about changing and actually doing it. So, okay, if this connection is the key, is there a secret to it? How do you actually tap into this source of energy and move from being, a potato to someone who's active?
Yes, he does highlight what he calls a secret within this spiritual connection, the madad, and also a practice called
Tafakkur,
which is deep contemplation or meditation. He teaches that actively connecting with a spiritual guide through this kind of contemplation, it opens you up.
Opens you up to what?
To a profound downpouring of blessings and spiritual energy. He calls it phase. Phase.
Oh, okay.
And this isn't just a nice feeling. He describes it as a powerful
himma.
Yeah. Like a zeal or maybe a divine energy. He says this zeal is so potent it actually pierces all of the darkness around you.
Pierces the darkness.
Right. It cuts through the self-doubt, the fear, the procrastination. It clears the path for real action.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Moving from the idea to concrete steps.
Right.
So if this spiritual connection, this madad and phase is the foundation, what are the practical tools? The actual actions Sheikh Nurjan Miramati suggests for activating this himma, this zeal in our daily lives, what do we actually do?
Well, he outlines a very specific formula, as he calls it, a formula for getting people to show faith in action. He says it's especially important in what he refers to as these dark days.
Faith in action, not just passive belief.
Exactly. It's about active physical participation.
Okay, so what are the specific practical steps? What's in the formula that can really get someone moving?
Well, one thing he mentions is using ta'weezes.
Ta'weezes?
Which are specific prayers or invocations meant for protection. He outwardly notes that shaitans, you could think of them as negative spiritual influences, don't like these.
So they act like shields.
Kind of like spiritual shields that help clear away those mental or spiritual blocks that pull you towards just sitting there doing nothing. Inertia.
Makes sense. What else?
He also really stresses the importance of meditation, but not just for calm necessarily. It's also about clearing that internal static so you can receive clearer guidance, clearer energy.
Right, like tuning a radio.
Exactly. And of course, consistently making those spiritual connections. We talk about them, Dad. He says when people understand and really integrate all these realities, the result is they're constantly on the move.
So this whole formula directly counters what he called the potato farm.
Yeah, that state of just pervasive inactivity. This is the antidote.
It feels like a very clear, almost like a spiritual toolkit you can use.
It is.
But is this just about my own personal journey, or is there maybe a community aspect to overcoming this potato state? Does helping others, serving others play a role?
Oh, absolutely. It definitely extends beyond just focusing on yourself. The Sheikh explains that being stuck, being a potato, is often linked to focusing only on yourself, maybe your immediate family.
Right, the small circle.
Exactly. And neglecting broader spiritual paths. And this really important concept of service. He contrasts that self-focus with the huge benefits of getting involved communally.
How so?
He states very clearly that individuals have to support, they have to participate, they have to wear their emblems, they have to have their tawizes, they have to live a life of khidmat.
Khidmat.
Which means active service. Service to others, service to the spiritual path.
So it's not just about what you get from the connection, but also what you give, how you actively engage with something bigger than yourself.
Precisely. It's about participation.
And does that active participation, that service, have immediate benefits? Does it directly fuel that himma, that zeal we talked about?
He makes a direct link. He says as soon as someone begins to engage in madad, that connection and support, and actively supports others through service.
Yeah.
They immediately receive all sorts of energies in going out and accomplishing.
Wow, so it's reciprocal?
Exactly. A really powerful reciprocal relationship. Giving actually leads to greater personal capacity, more energy, more zeal. It's really about activating your purpose by serving.
It's a beautiful connection, actually. So, okay, shifting slightly. What does all this mean for our inner world? Sheikh Nurjan Mehramadi talks about a way of companionship and also a process of spiritual struggle. How does this internal battle connect to overcoming procrastination, that inner inertia?
Well, he draws this profound parallel to the companions of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him.
Okay.
Their incredible spiritual greatness, he explains, it came from their deep spiritual connection and that downpouring of blessings, the phase, directly from Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him himself.
So the connection was key for them too.
Absolutely. He asserts that without that direct connection, that opening, no one could have achieved what they did. So that establishes the foundation. Real spiritual growth. And with it, the ability to overcome inertia, it comes from both that external connection and an internal struggle.
And what does that inner struggle actually look like in our day-to-day lives? Is it about fighting external things, or is it more internal? Something that frees up our energy for outward action.
It's primarily an inner battle. The Shaykh describes it as the necessity of fighting and struggling against your own bad character.
Okay.
That's what allows you to then go out, to support, to do, to accomplish. And he clarifies, this struggle isn't just for your own material world, your dunya, as he calls it.
Not just for worldly success.
No. It's this continuous internal effort against those self-limiting traits, the negative impulses, maybe the insidious whispers of shaitan, the negativity that keeps us stuck. It's really about self-mastery.
That makes a lot of sense. So what's the ultimate goal then of this constant inner struggle of following this spiritual path? What's the big transformation that happens?
Well, through this consistent struggle and by following a spiritual guide, he says the ultimate goal is that Allah Almighty will eventually allow you to walk back into your heart, into your real Makkah.
Your real Makkah inside.
Yes. He uses this powerful analogy of how the companions entered the physical Makkah with so much light that all the negative influences, the shaitans, just fled.
Wow.
It signifies this ultimate victory over inner darkness, the complete removal of those internal blocks that cause inertia and keep you stuck.
That's such a powerful image. Your heart becoming a sanctuary, a place that negativity just flees from. How does that interchange manifest, like, practically in terms of energy and motivation day to day?
Well, he explains that the heart becomes the house of Allah Almighty. And from that house, every demon will be cast out.
Okay.
So it completely transforms your inner landscape. It becomes a place where, as he puts it, shaitans literally run from amok us.
Yeah.
A sincere individual because they just have no hold anymore.
A state of inner purity and strength.
Exactly. And this is achieved, he teaches, as the heart becomes filled with Muhammadan light for Allah Almighty to reside there.
Mohammed.
And this isn't just some abstract idea. It's described as a divine presence that purifies your inner world, making your heart a source of pure motivation and strength instead of, a battleground for procrastination.
This is fascinating, linking the spiritual growth, the inner transformation, the service, all to concrete actions.
Right.
But Sheikh Nurjan Mirmati also mentions things like extreme fatigue, melancholy. Is there a physical dimension to this whole battle against laziness, against feeling stuck? Is our body part of this too?
Oh, absolutely. There's a very definite physical dimension he addresses. The Sheikh suggests that shaitan, that negative influence, actively tries to induce sleepiness. He says it's like a gas mask he puts on people to sleep.
Wow, like a spiritual sedative.
Kind of. Not just physical tiredness, but a spiritual fatigue that shows up as physical lethargy. It's like an energetic drain.
Okay, so beyond the spiritual practices like connection and contemplation, what are the practical self-care steps? What does he advise for combating this fatigue and getting our physical energy back?
Well, first he reiterates the importance of continuing the salawats, the praises upon Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, and the other spiritual practices. You need to maintain that energetic flow.
Right, keep the connection strong.
Exactly. But then, crucially, he gives some very direct dietary advice. He says to stop eating certain foods, specifically pointing out starches and sugars.
The usual suspects.
Yeah. He explains they can make people lethargic, like cattle, causing them to just want to fall asleep or feel sluggish all the time.
Like a food coma, but maybe deeper.
Something like that. He emphasizes that fighting this gravitational pull, as he calls it, involves consciously choosing a diet based on goodness, fueling your body for action, not for stagnation.
That's incredibly practical, linking what we eat directly to our spiritual energy levels. What about physical activity, exercise? How does that fit in?
Oh, it's crucial. He highlights the vital role of exercise, especially noting that battles are coming, implying, I think, the need for physical readiness alongside the spiritual and mental preparedness. This physical readiness isn't separate from your spiritual journey. It's actually integral.
So strengthen the body to support the spirit.
Exactly. Just as you strengthen your spiritual connection, you also strengthen the physical machine that lets you embody that energy in the world. And he gives concrete examples too.
Like what?
Things like movement, calisthenics, push-ups, things off of your own weight, lifting. It's about empowering your physical vessel.
Right, getting strong.
Yeah. And he sums it all up with this incredibly empowering statement that really echoes through all his teachings on this. If there's a will, there's a way.
If there's a will, there's a way. So just to kind of wrap up this incredibly insightful deep dive, we've really explored Sheikh Nurjan Mirmati's multifaceted approach to getting unstuck, haven't we? Overcoming laziness, procrastination.
Definitely.
It starts with that vital role of spiritual connection, that madad, that support. Then it moves into actively engaging in service. Khidmat.
Right. And embracing that inner struggle for real personal transformation.
Yeah.
Fighting the bad character, like he said.
And then crucially, also tending to your physical well-being. Conscious diet, exercise.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Exactly. I think what we've learned today is that breaking free from that potato state, it's far from just wishing it away.
Yeah.
It's an active choice. It's a dynamic journey involving connection, inner strength, and some very practical steps. It's about transforming your whole being, really, to embrace a life of purpose and action, from your deepest spiritual core right out to your daily physical habits.
So as you listening, reflect on all of this, maybe consider this final thought. If your heart is truly meant to be a dwelling place for the divine, a source of immense light and power, what simple, actionable step could you maybe take today? Just one thing, to begin clearing out those inner demons of inertia and start welcoming that immense light.